You don't live in here, you live in the theatre room. Hello, we're doing another video. Today I'm going to talk about my pop vinyl collection because gotta get those views. Starting off, we're gonna try to go quickly because there's a lot of dudes. This is Alfred Hitchcock, boom, doing his famous, Psycho film. God, focus on this camera's a bitch. Cool. He actually lives in the theatre room, but I'll leave him here for now. You can live there. Starting from the top of my shelf, if you want a video of me looking down my whole entire shelf, because there's a lot of stuff on here. This is my bedroom shelf, the one I pride myself on the most, I guess I'd say. So starting from the top, we have Blade Runner 2049, where you have Harrison Ford's Deckard, and you have Ryan Gosling's Agent K. So yeah, why do I have these? Because it is my favourite film of all time, and they're pretty cool. I want to get the Joy one because she's my favourite character in the film, but I haven't found her yet, or at least a good paint job version of her, because, of course, when it comes to pop vinyls, I don't like them that much, which is kind of ironic because I have quite a fair few of them, but I didn't like them until maybe 2017, when, outside of the fact that I was starting to get paid, I found one. This dude, who's on the next shelf down, the Neomorph, who looks obviously really goddamn cool. Like, really goddamn cool. He looks kind of silly with his teeth. Like, look at those teeth. Yeah, so it looks very goofy. And then he comes with a little toddler, who is also very goofy, but kind of spooky. But I got them, and I really liked their design. I thought, hey, that looks really cool. I want that. And I thought Alien Covenant was a pretty decent film. I quite liked it. And so I got that because I thought, hey, even for a pop vinyl, it looks really cool because it doesn't look like a pop vinyl. Like, I like getting my collectibles. I like the bobbleheads, the action figures, soft toys, whatever. Do I have a lot of them? I've gotten a lot more of them over the past 2 years, but for the most part, yeah. So I've got 2049 because it's my favourite film. I mean, hell, I've even got the goddamn car from the film. So there's that, plus of course the book, because I love the film. Moving down to our second shelf, which you can kind of see at the bottom here. I won't show off the shelf as much as I'll show off the characters. We have our horror shelf. So we have, obviously, the Alien Covenant dude, the Neomorph. We have... a little dusty. We have, of course, Frankenstein's monster with a flower, because I love the design of him. He's very goofy and very nice. And I love Universal Monsters. We have the Dementor from Harry Potter. Specifically, I'd say the third one, because that seems like the best one to say for Dementors, because it was first features in that. I like the design of it, the whole thing of the cloak. To some, it might not look like a Dementor, but for the most part, it is at least unique enough to not even look like a pop vinyl, and that is actually really cool, outside of the fact that it says Funko on the bottom. Next up, we have Ed, Zombie Ed, from Shaun of the Dead. Why do we have Zombie Ed? Because, I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I love Shaun of the Dead. It's one of my favourite films, and it's the only pop vinyl I've ever found of any of the Shaun of the Dead characters, so I figured, why not? Next up, we have another one of my favourite horror villains, kind of, Jack Torrance from The Shining. And I love Jack Nicholson, so it kind of works out pretty well. I wouldn't get the others of Danny and Shelley, not Shelley, whatever the hell her name is, but that doesn't really matter. Blue tack down, we have a reason for everyone to fall off their hinges. We have Ash from Ash vs. Evil Dead. Unfortunately, I don't have the Army of Darkness version because I don't like it. I like this version. I like the chainsaw hand, I love the shotgun. It's not a perfect in terms of paint job, but for the most part, it's pretty good. It stands up pretty awkwardly because there's a little bump in his foot, so I'm able to blue tack down together, but Evil Dead 2 is my favourite film. Of course, Blade Runner is my favorite film of all time, but like Evil Dead 2 is like my second favorite film of all time. So like, but it's the one I've rewatched the most. So a lot of these pop finals are from things that are my favorite in terms of their kind of specific field. So I will briefly explain all of that. I do actually quite like the Ash vs Evil Dead series. These two, so here's the first one, the Demon Hipster Chick from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World on a little platform, which I kept the sticker on it, the 2019 exclusive. And Dev Patel, no, that's the actor. Matthew Patel? I think that's his name, yeah. The first villain in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is him and his demon hipster chicks. I love the comics. I have them in their hardcover, as you can see here. Like, the first half of this shelf is horror. The second half, I mean, we've still got Walking Dead comics, but, you know, he's got Scott Pilgrim and some Spider-Man and Superman comics, because it's also the comic part of the shelf, kind of. There is more comics, I think. Actually, maybe not. No, they're all the comics. Cool. Because I'm a nerd, if that wasn't obvious. Next up, we're actually going to go to the bottom shelf, because the third shelf is the biggest. I do have bobbleheads as well. Now, of course, a lot of pop vinyls nowadays are bobblehead as well, especially the Marvel ones, which annoys the crap out of me. Depending on which figurine they are, if they're like Mysterio from the new Marvel Spider-Man film, it pisses me off because I don't like the bobblehead. I think it's horrendous, and I really wish they'd just release him without the bobblehead, because what's the point if you can see his neck when you're not meant to find the point of a mask? Anyway, Deadpool. Bobblehead. I don't mind the bobblehead aspect. I like the panda. I like the, you know, the bathing robe and the unicorn slippers. I figured that's cool. It's kind of weird and goofy, but at the same time it fits the Deadpool tone. It even has a little thing at the back of his head. It's just nice. It's not a very detailed paint job, but it does the trick. Next up, we have the first pop vinyl I actually got. I don't like it at all. I got it because it came with the season 5 of Game of Thrones on Blu-ray. I think it was maybe season 4, but either way, you got King Joffrey Baratheon from Game of Thrones. You understand why I don't like the look of pop vinyls most of the time? Yeah, because of their faces. Like, some of them could have a really cool job, paint job. Some of them have really cool designs, like, there are a lot of creatures from video games that look really cool, even just normal heroes or dudes from, just people from video games that have really cool designs, but I don't know who they are, so I don't care. That's just how it goes. Then we got Toph from Avatar Legend of Aang, the animated version, of course, because eventually there will be a live-action version. Thank you, Netflix, you bastards. I don't think it's the best paint job. I think it's kind of goofy, especially the back of her head. It's a bit too big, in my opinion. But it's a cool... she's my favourite character from the show. I've always loved earthbending in the show. I love the little earth spikes that you can see as well. Like, it's just cool. Sam has Appa, Aang, and Momo. So, yeah. I'm not one to collect every single figurine from, like, a series. It's just not my thing. I collect them if I think they're worthwhile collecting. Again, they're like $20, and I could buy a film or two with that money. So that's kind of like my philosophy about it. If I don't care enough for it, I'll buy a film instead. Then we have Chell, lost her platform, which really annoys me. Her design isn't that bad, but it's more or less just the fact that you got the gun, you got the outfit. It's a pretty good paint job, actually. You even have her boots, which is really cool. And you have, of course, the companion cube, which it'll focus on eventually, which has all the love hearts and stuff. I think this is a great combination set, for the obvious reason. I don't have Atlas or Peabody. If they had a GLaDOS one, that'd be really cool, but I doubt they would do that, even though they could do a really big version of it, like, you know, their big Thanos or Hulk versions or whatever. But yeah, I don't think she's especially special, but it just reminds me of one of my top 3 favorite video games. I think she might actually be... She's one of the only video game characters I've actually got in pop vinyl form, because I don't buy many. I mean, I got Sam the Bulbasaur from Pokemon, but so he has Bulbasaur, Pikachu, and Charmander, which I still like as well. I think they're rather cute. Next up, we have Incredibles. You have. I was about to say Jar Jar. Why haven't they released a Jar Jar Binks pop vinyl? That'd be pretty weird. Pretty cool, I think. Anyway, I don't like Jar Jar Binks, but that'd be really interesting. Flaming Jack Jack, because of all of those pop vinyls from that whole series of Incredibles 2 pop vinyls, I got this one because this one actually looks really cool, and that's the only reason I got it. I mean, I like Jack Jack, and I like Incredibles 2. I don't think it's better than the first one, nowhere near as good, but at the same time, I still like the pop vinyl. The pop vinyl is really cool. Then, of course, we have our duo of Beetlejuice. I love Beetlejuice, grew up with it as a kid. I've always loved it. It's easily my favourite Tim Burton film. If you will focus on the dude, please, camera. Oh my god, I'm not that important. I really like the paint job. I like just how crazy he looks, with all the little intricacies of his paint job, especially on the face with the eyes. Very cartoony, very, very Tim Burton. So that's the husband and bride and groom version of them. This, of course, being Winona Ryder's character, who I can't remember the name of for some reason. Anyway, I haven't watched that film for a while, so I might rewatch it again sometime soon. But I really like just the whole design. It feels so glossy and weird, but it's very well done, I think. I think there's another set of... They had an original version of Beetlejuice that I never got because I didn't like it. But then they also have like him as like a bus driver and her in a goth suit, which I might get someday because they're pretty cool. But I like the wedding one, the bride and groom one instead. I just think it has a nicer design to it. Next up, we have Captain Marvel. I'm not a fan of the film per se. It's all right. But I got this before I even watched the film because I'm like, this just looks really cool, even for being a bobblehead, glow-in-the-dark eyes. The hair is really cool. The paint job is really cool. And just the whole entire thing it's just a really nice design. It's pop vinyl enough that it makes me not like it, but at the same time it's just kind of cool and looks unique, and the pose as well is just, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I think even the fist glow in the dark too, because it's on fire. Space fire or something. Next up we have Molten Man. From the new Spider-Man Homecoming, and he is just amazing in looks. Like, his feet are patches of lava, his eyes glow in the dark at night, which I don't see too often, strangely enough. His bobblehead, which is still really cool, because even if you close him up, he's still pretty nicely configured. Of course, he's got the metal spikes coming out of his back. I finally watched the film, so I understand what he's from and everything. I just really think his design's really cool. The only thing that makes him look like a pop vinyl is probably the eyes, but at the same time they're glowing and everything, so it's like, oh yeah, they glow in the dark. So what's not to, it's cool, it's nice. I've got two over there which I have to remember, but they're lucky last, special ones in my mind. Next up we have Salter from Thor Ragnarok, because he looks really cool, obviously. You got his fiery head, you got his skull. He just looks rad as hell. I even like how kind of cheesy the look of his body is, because of course his chest is just the painted skeleton bones, but then, you've got that, which is just really cool. It's just pretty rad. I like the film, I like him in the film. I just broke his neck. Oops. I'm going to put him down for now. I'll fix him later. See, again, it's from the bobbleheads, they break. I guess his companion, the obvious companion, is the Hulk, who was kind of a little busted when I got him. The spring's a little twisted wrong. But I don't mind. It's the Gladiator Hulk look is really kind of cool. You get a good version of him. Oh my god. Focus on his face. I mean, it's a pretty decent paint job. It's pretty cool in total. And his hammer's pretty nice. It's good, it's good. It's the only two Thor Ragnarok ones I got. I'd like to get a different version of Thor. A version of Thor, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. Because he still has his generic pop vinyl look. Anyway, next up, a pop vinyl you wouldn't expect it's Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors. So, in a little coffee thing, which I think is really cool. I'm still yet to get any more of the ones from Little Shop of Horrors, which I plan to get probably most of them, if not all of them. But I especially like this one. It's quite weighty as well, but really cool in total. We have my favourite video game characters. This being, Master Chief is probably my favourite video game character, but I don't really like his pop vinyl. I like the one with Cortana, don't really care for it that much, but Sam got it instead. We have Little Sister from Bioshock 1 and 2.
Meth!
Yes. So you got Little Sister, she has a little vial as well, which is really cool. I don't think her eyes glow in the dark as much. Oh my god, will this thing focus? I apologise for that. But I still think it's a nice design. She's short and sweet, and it's pretty good. And then, of course, you got your Big Daddy to combine with her, which the Big Daddy was the first pop vinyl I really, really wanted to get, mainly because he's like the best and cheapest looking figurine that I could get of my favourite video game character. Actual favourite video game character, especially villain-wise. And I just love the Big Daddy, and they go really well together. I had to get them separately, of course, but it took me a while to find them, and I got them, and I'm very pleased with them. My last collection outside of the two over there would be... Is he stuck on? He's stuck on, isn't he? Yep. Alright. My Twin Peaks collection, of course. Starting with Dale Cooper with his Cup of Joe. He's got his thumb up. It's pretty cool. You got him. You got Bob, who's one of my favourite human pop vinyls, just because of how his hands are designed. Nothing overly special about him, but I like the texture of his hair. It's well designed, well painted. Fingers are a little weird, but for the most part I really like it. He's going to fall over, so I'm just going to lay him down. Because some of these pop vinyls, unfortunately, have pretty bad weight adjustment on their feet and back, so that's annoying. I've got the Log Lady, because I really like the Log Lady and Catherine Coulson, who portrayed her. I like the texture of the jacket and the log, and even the, obviously, 90s glasses and everything. It's really, really well done. As a nice duo set that I, yes, of course, spent $50 Australian on, the Black Lodge version of Laura in her meanwhile pose, as you can see with her hands, which is my favourite part of Twin Peaks, the first two seasons, the whole meanwhile thing, especially from the last episode of the second season, and Dale Cooper with his, coffee being poured out slowly and thick. And lucky last in my Twin Peaks collection, because I haven't got Giant or Audrey Horne because I don't like their designs, and I've never found a good Leland. So I got Laura Palmer, of course. I've lost the podium that she used to stand on, but, you got her in a plastic. I got this at Comic-Con Supernova a few years ago, and I really like the design. It's pretty cool. It obviously doesn't come out of the plastic, but I just think it's a really well-designed pop vinyl. Last but not least, second last, we have Spider-Man from Far From Home. I really like the design. It's, generic Spider-Man, but I like that he's holding on to something. He's doing his signature pose. It's really just overall pretty cool in my opinion. And I keep him on my bed because why wouldn't I? I love Spider-Man. And last, in honor of the 500 views I got on my One Marvelous Scene video essay on The Vision versus Ultron, I got The Vision from Infinity War. Bobblehead as well. Love the cape and overall design. You can actually, the light goes really well through his cape. And I even love his pose. Yeah. So yeah, I got him because he's a lucky last. One of my favourites just because of the meaning, the symbolism he represents between my channel and my actual, collection of stuff. Yeah. But this is my pop vinyl collection. Hope you've enjoyed it. $50 feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more. I've recently done a theatre room tour, and if you want to look at my whole entire shelf, I'll probably maybe do that one day. If not, who cares? Yeah, so I do video essays and review actors' films and all kinds of stuff on this channel. So yeah, feel free to check that out. See you later. I'm going to go have my lunch now. Bye.